To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So as I've reported in several videos now, I have built an outdoor wood furnace, also known as an outdoor heat exchanger. The difference between a heat exchanger and what I'm calling an outdoor furnace is a heat exchanger will naturally bring hot air from my outdoor wood furnace right into the camper without any electric. Now, technically, this is a heat exchanger, because it can naturally, without a blower, bring air into the camper. And it works pretty good. The thing is I want it to work better. So what I'm calling a wood furnace requires a blower to blow air from the heat exchanger system here in my furnace that I've showed in several videos now into the camper. So that's the difference. One's natural, one takes electricity or a blower. So I'm going to go inside, I'm going to show you how hot this thing can get. This is the receiving of the hot air from the wood furnace. And I got a little fan in front of the ventilation. So right behind the fan is the ventilation that runs out to the heat exchanger. And you can see that the inlet temperature is at 140 degrees. Now I still need to put more insulation out there. The problem with running a fan all the time is it's going to get very hot in there, and I won't have any way to shut it off except to physically shut the fan off. And so I need to figure out a way to use a thermostat somehow or another to turn the fan on and off, just like you do in your house. When it gets cold, the thermostat kicks your blower on your furnace, pumps heat into the house, and then shuts off when it gets too hot. Now, those who have a wood stove can control the heat using little flapper valves here. Mine's actually built into the stove. You can have flapper valves here that you can turn to control the heat a little bit. And there's vents on the doors and different things that you can open up and shut to control the heat. So as you just saw inside the camper, I'm pumping in 140 degrees. That was with the flappers and the vents all shut. So it was producing the minimum amount of heat, and I was still getting 140 degrees. That's a lot of heat for a 6 by 6 foot box. Well, it's actually like 7 by 8 foot, whatever. So it's going to get too hot in there. So I've done this in the past. I've taken these little portable electric heaters and I've converted them into thermostatically controlled fans. Now, before I get started, I want to be clear that I am not advising anybody to do this project. My videos are to kind of inspire you to think outside the box, to do things cheaply and on a budget, and think how you can do things that may not be in the norm. If you don't feel comfortable tearing into an electrical device, then by all means don't do it. And I'm pretty comfortable with being able to convert a heater, an electric heater like this, into a thermostatically controlled fan. As you can see, this has a thermostat on it. As you turn it, it shuts on and off based on the temperature of the room. I'll put it right by the microphone here. As I turn it, you should hear it click. Right there. And so that clicking means that it's kicking on, kicking off. So I want to get rid of everything on this thing except the fan and the thermostat. And so that means I got to take it apart. Okay, once you're inside, you're going to see all the little components and wires and different things, and it all looks very confusing. But the simplistic matter is this thing right here is what I need. This is the thermostat right here. Now what I want to do is I want to take this thermostat, I want to take it off the heater and extend it to the living area of the camper. Wherever Carolyn and I are sitting is where I want the thermostat at. Now if I put this blower, this fan, and just turn it on the fan, because it has just a fan setting here. That's the fan, low, medium, high. If I put this right in front of the ventilation, it shuts off almost instantly because there's so much heat coming into it that it has a safety feature right here. It's an overheat sensor. This sensor right here determines that the heater itself is overheated and it shuts off to prevent it catching on fire. Well, the problem is this thing also senses when outside temperature is hotter than what the heater itself is supposed to run. So I got to get this off of there because I'm going to disconnect the heater portion right here behind the fan. I'm just going to run the fan. So now the safety switch is all wired up. So I've removed the thermostat from the fan. And again, I'm going to run it right through this little spot right here where the LED light is. And I'm just going to bring it way over here next to the safety switch. All right, so now if we imagine that our ventilation duct comes right into here. Now, this will hang over Carolyn and me, when we're sitting, sleep, and that kind of thing. And so we'll be able to thermostatically control where we want it to be comfortable. Because if we were to thermostatically control it here, it would be too hot and shut off way before it got any heat over to us. So now, this over here can get as hot as we want. We might be able to blow fans onto ourselves. So the reason I did this is one, it's inexpensive. The heater was $19 and we're never ever going to use it again. I mean, it was going to end up in the trash is what was going to happen. And the reason we don't need it anymore is because we're off solar panels now. We can't hook up to regular electric. Although we can run that heater, we can't run it very often unless the sun is up real bright like it is right now. But I was able to repurpose something that was no good to us anymore and use it for something that we can use it for, saving us a ton of money. The second reason I think it's important that we use this is we could go out and buy a lot of expensive products and hook it up in here and basically get the same results with lots of money. The second problem I had is most of the research I did on things that I could use showed that it was going to take more energy than I was willing to use at nighttime. This little fan, I can't even get it to register on my watt meter how many watts it takes. So that means it's like, less than probably, 1 amp. So we're talking fractions of an amp. So I could run that all night long and it won't affect how much battery I have that I can make it through the night. That also means I probably won't have to get another battery to make it through the night. So the things that are going to have to run during the winter is my water tank. I'm going to recirculate the water into my water tank, so my pump has to run. It's 0.7 amps at 12 volts. So it's like 5 or 6, 7 watts. I mean, it's nothing. So I have 5 or 6, 7 watts on the pump. I got maybe 10 watts on the fan, probably less. So we're talking 15 watts an hour all night long. Easy to run on the 2 batteries that I have. So these are the kind of outside of the box thinking that you got to have to live the off-grid lifestyle in an inexpensive way. I mean, I see other off-gridders and they got tons and tons and tons of money that they can just throw at hand over fist. And that's fine. I mean, I don't criticize anybody for being able to make money. I mean, making money is great. But on the other hand, I live a lifestyle of simplicity, so I don't have to work tons and tons and tons of stressful hours with an employer. I try to do it so I can minimize my lifestyle. I know a lot of folks call me cheap. I don't feel like I'm cheap. I think I've found a way to make myself happy and by not spending money. And that concept really confuses a lot of people. So in order to live your dream, here's another opportunity to think outside the box, save yourself money, because I know a lot of people can't afford to live their dream. They want to do something, but they just can't afford it. So I hope this video inspires you to continue to think outside the box and think about how you can achieve things with things that you already have laying around the house that you can just repurpose. All right, I've taken the cover off so I can show you, see if it worked or not. So we're gonna turn on the thermostat switch here, the thermostat. Look at that, there it goes. So now we can have the thermostat way out of the picture and still get a fan to run, which we'll put up on our ventilation, and we'll blow the heat from our heat exchanger into the camper. And when it gets too hot in there, it'll shut off automatically, like that. Voila. Thanks for watching.